So now we're getting near where the bus is located in Belpre, Ohio. I always see this old, what is that? That's an old Packard sitting there. That's kind of my marker to turn. And so we're approaching the street where the bus is located, and it's got a pretty big hill. If you take a look, this is a pretty steep hill that you go down, and it kind of curves around. You got a sharp corner. Not a fun thing to do in a bus, but just leave it in the low gear. So here's where the bus stands now. You can see it there as we're pulling up. I'm going to do a quick walk around, and then I'm going to talk about some of the things that are left. So here it is. We did get the wheels on. They're not torqued or anything because it's not moving yet, but it will. All right. So let's start in the front corner here. So right now in the front, the headlights need to be tested. We don't know if they work or not work. The front is completely done. We need to torque the wheels down, but this wheel in this area is completely in good shape. So we've kind of walked down. This whole hub is put back together. We need 2 studs for it, and so we will get 2 studs on it. You can see the fan, the radiator is not in right now. We have that out, and we have a couple of things that need to be made, a bracket to put the fan shroud back together. The engine is actually in pretty good shape right now. We need to, here I can open a door. We put new hoses on. We still have some hoses to finish up in here. But the engine is okay. The mount got done. That was one thing we all agreed needed to get completed, and it got finished. And so we're going to walk around to this side. There's some work left over here. So the plate that goes into this brake, that's kind of your emergency brake, and the drive shaft needs to be reassembled. There's a couple of cables, air hose, and a fuel line that need to go in. We're missing one little simple part that we couldn't find yesterday, but that'll come together very easily. So this corner needs some work. We need 1 stud on this. That's bad, and but otherwise, this hub has been put back together and it's in good shape. So this is the front is, you can see it's missing a stud here. We have to get that taken care of. But all in all, if you take a look, I mean, it's on driving tires. The engine runs. Just a couple of all things. Scott said it would be about another day, and I don't want to second guess him, but I would say probably we've got 2 days left to button it up. Almost everything left is not, it's not major surgery like what we have been doing. It's small stuff. It's just kind of making sure everything fits. This door, for example, now that we've adjusted, you can see the latch. Let's turn the latch. The door actually closes properly. It didn't before, because this whole bumper was flopping all over the place. This whole rear end was completely shot. This latch was taken off. They pried it off because the whole back end was falling off. They couldn't open the radiator side door, the side curtain. So all in all, it's ready to drive. It's needs a bit of a bath, which we knew, but we really didn't have water here. The only other thing that we have to do, and this is really more on me, is get the taillights, basically get the lights working. the electrical system has been messed with. This was a positive ground, meaning that the bus itself was positive, and then you connected to the negative, so it's reverse of any car these days. And so what ends up happening is all the appliances, everything is backwards. And so somebody went through the act of kind of going halfway to making it positive. And so I've got a lot of electrical testing equipment and stuff at home, and I've got to get into the electrical and find out what's going on. We started the engine. You can see there's a little white coil underneath. We started it just by jumping the starter. We didn't really run through the house electrical system. So that's got to get fixed. And it's such a simple system. There's only 22 different circuits in the system. It's just a matter of figuring out what happened, or taking it all apart and putting it back together the way that the manual suggests, but just doing it backwards. So I guess that's it. I just realized I left this window open. I'm going to probably shut this window, and then I'm heading back to Michigan. Scott's already probably halfway to Indianapolis, and that'll be that for this time around. We'll be back in a couple weeks.